Did you?
I think it was in Fallout.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that could be.
They play a lot of old music in there.
Do they?
Yeah,
Cool.
especially old jazz.
Yeah. So let me take us back now. Let's go back to playing test. Sorry, practice test two, and let's listen to some of the uh, examples on this for consonants or dissonance. All right. Now, these are single individual chords, not several chords in a row. So you're trying to get one specific chord compared to another one, not an overall sense of several chords together in one piece against several chords together in another piece, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, what I recommend that you do on these is that you would, if you need to, go back and you've got this pops up on a tab in your computer to play it, right? So go back and stop and move the time code around and start and end when you need to. If you want to, I'm going to go ahead and play this, but I'm going to stop after the second chord, so we can just evaluate that second chord, and then we can go on, or second, the first two chords in comparison. Then we can go on and compare the second and third chords, and I'm not going to get myself confused by trying to make the two comparisons and having all three chords right in a row. We hear it again.
Yeah.
So we're listening to is the second chord more consonant or more, is it consonant or dissonant compared to the first chord? Comparing second to first. What do you think?
I'd say the
Dissonance?
second is more dissonant to the first.
What do you think?
I want to hear it again.
Okay. What do you
I
think?
think it's the second one is more
Okay.
the second one is more dissonant.
Okay.
He was like
Agreed.
kind of like a vibrating sound in the second one. So it
Yeah.
reminds me of him.
Yeah. Well, and that okay. So that's a good point. There's a vibration going on. That string instruments do. They create a what's called vibrato, and that makes the pitch waver a little bit back and forth. So that's what you're hearing. But also, I think that's what you're describing. Also, what the second chord does is it adds some pitches to the first one. And what happens? I'm going to get technical on you here just to kind of give you a basis in science, and then you can read about it or ignore it if you want to on your own. But when I play a string, okay, a bow it vibrates as a whole length. It creates what we call a fundamental pitch, okay? But it also vibrates in pieces. It vibrates in half, it vibrates in quarters and thirds and all kinds of ratios. And it creates what are called partials or tones or overtones to the fundamental. So there's other pitches actually going on, other frequencies, so there's a complex wave of sound. It's not just like a simple sine wave of one pitch, but it's actually a complicated mixture of different pitches. And when you get, I play two different fundamentals with different partials together. Their fundamentals and partials, they mesh together well or they don't. The less that they mesh together, the more dissonant it sounds. So what you're getting are notes that fight each other. Their characteristic sound. It's not their characteristic sounds. Their overtones and partials fight each other more than other pitches do, and that's what creates dissonance or consonance. So, all right, that was the first and the second. Now we want to compare the third to the second. Sorry, yeah, third to the second. Let me try if I can get in between the two here. This is second. Sorry, trigger happy here. Want to hear it again? Sorry, I did enough of it.
Third is more consonant
And the second?
to the second.
What do you
I
think?
think the third one is more dissonant than the
What do you think?
It's also more dissonant.
I hear it as more dissonant.
dissonant.
Yeah, let's listen to it one more time. Let's do this. Let's listen to the whole three of them again. See if that helps put some in perspective a little bit.
The second and the third one sound really similar to me.
Okay, yeah, that's possible. So now, when you're looking at the answers to the questions, and part of the reason I structured this the way I did with three chords and two comparisons is I got to have some distractors in the multiple choice example, right? So, instead of trying to read the whole answer, just look for consonant, consonant, dissonant, dissonant, consonant, dissonant, or dissonant, consonant, right? There's only four possible. Those are your four possible combinations. And if you can clearly hear, for example, that the second one is more dissonant than the first one, you've narrowed it down to two choices. It's either going to be dissonant consonant or dissonant dissonant. And in this case, it's dissonant dissonant, but you could get there by process of elimination. So, and that again, it helps you, really makes you hear and listen, and maybe right now that the difference between the second and third chord is pretty subtle. Hopefully by the end of the quarter, when you're taking the final exam, it's more clear to you, that difference. Okay. Let's do another one. So again, we're looking at consonant, consonant, dissonant, dissonant, consonant, dissonant, or dissonant, consonant, and we'll break it down and we'll listen to the first two and then the second two. The same thing we did on the previous one. Let's listen to it again. I don't see any looks of
I think the first one.
for a man.
I was waiting for a third one. That's what.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. Let's do the let's do the same. I wouldn't, if I were doing this and I were at all a little unsure or shaky on it, I wouldn't listen to all three. I'd break it down in pairs because that's
Okay.
yeah, that just makes it easier.
The second more consonant.
That sounds a bit more consonant.
Yeah, the first one sounds dissonant.
I actually hear the second one is more dissonant. It just adds, I think, one tone, one pitch.
Okay, I can hear it.
Like in the begin. Are you saying like in the beginning? Is that what you're saying?
It adds, well, it has, it's the same chord with one additional pitch. It's subtle. It's a small difference. Okay, so we're not sure about that one when we're taking the test. Let's listen to the second one compared to the third one.
Third one is more dissonant.
Yeah, okay, all right. That one's got a lot more tones in it, so that's like clearly, yeah, that's. So you've got to narrow it down to one or two possibilities, right? And you've got multiple chances at it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. That's consonance and dissonance.